This is a really simple question, but interpret it however you want. It could be wide-ranging. As a professional rider, what's one thing you do especially well?
I think the first thing that pops to mind, just obviously given the scenario this year, I'd say is consistency. I think is a pretty low-hanging fruit to grab at. Just off the top of my head, I'd say consistency.
Can you make yourself good at that? Like, can you make a conscious effort to do that, or is it just something that happens?
I don't know.
We started simple, now we're moving.
Yeah, I'm nowhere near smart enough to answer that one. I don't know, man. Maybe it is. Maybe, you see guys like
Sewer?
Jeremy. No, I wouldn't say. No, I mean like, a younger Eli.
Yeah.
When that was one thing, he admitted himself to try and fix the off weekends. The off weekends are when you win a championship. When he was battling with Dungey, so that's kind of an analogy or an example that pops to my mind on. You go, hey, he was obviously had the speed, but the consistency. So, yeah, and then I mean. In other cases, look at my brother, for example. There was other guys that had the speed, but Jed also had the speed and the consistency to win, So there's times where consistency doesn't always get the job done, but it can definitely make your life a lot easier.
On the other end of the spectrum, what's one thing that you don't feel like you do that well? Something that just maybe nags in your program?
Nags in my program. One thing that hasn't come easy to me my whole career is more like qualifying laps. Just a one lap, lay it all on the line. That in a practice session or qualifying. I think if you did an overview of my career, that would probably be one of the things that you could go, on a full race day from start to finish, that's probably where he could improve, which we do. We try work on that and stuff. It's but it just doesn't come naturally to me. Some guys, I mean, you don't have to be a genius to see it. Some guys can lay down a one-lap qualifier and you're just like, oh my gosh, like why can't they do that in the moto, and other guys just can't put a lap together, but yet they're a beast in the motos.
It's funny because that weakness, if you want to call it that, kind of goes hand in hand with your strength.
Yeah.
Because if you're a consistent guy, I do feel like you struggle to break out of yourself and lay it all on the line for one lap.
For sure, I definitely feel more comfortable. I build into it, so over my career, normally practice motos, for example, my best lap times would come towards the end of a practice moto. For example, at the end of 30 minutes when you're really locked in, you're dialed into the track and you just get increment by increment better and better. So I think that, but I mean, dude, we practice on it. We work on every aspect of our craft and skills.
This is a simple question, but interpret it however you want. It doesn't have to be specific to riding. But what do you feel like you do especially well as a professional rider?
Oh boy. I would say, as of lately, just being present and doing the best I can without doing anything too stupid. Honestly, there's times where I think I wish I was a little bit more stupid, if that sounds right. So yeah, I would say maybe that. Maybe just trying to be smart and take what you get on the day.
Is that something you've struggled with in the past then? Is that like really a recent progression?
Yeah, I would say so, just because the first couple years, like I would show speed, but I crashed out of Supercross, crashed out of outdoors the next year, crashed again. So like, it's just, you have to be at these races to get any better, and I've seen it time and time again with people, like when they're out, you can't make any progress when you're on the couch. So just trying to be smart, I'd say, is important.
So many guys have started seeing sports psychologists and stuff like that. So did you do that? Is that how you made this mental breakthrough?
No, I just kind of learned on my own. Now I work with a mental coach, but yeah, I think I just had to, just after discussing with my parents multiple times and your trainers around you, like, you just learn to get smarter. And I would say also, with that being said, like the way I train now is a lot different, and try to build my body up to where when we do hit the ground, like, you don't get hurt as often, hopefully.
Is that something, training with Chase, I guess you're kind of going the Chase model with that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's obviously built like a ton of bricks, and he can hit the ground probably harder than anybody. So he's proved it's worked. And now I'm just trying to follow in his footsteps as far as that goes.
I know a lot of guys are really against seeing mental coaches, and then they do it once and they're like, wow, this is actually surprisingly good.
Yeah.
Were you kind of the same?
Yeah, I was. I just had to find the right one that fit me, and yeah, I work with this guy named Christian now, and it's been amazing. Like, we get along really well, and I think it's huge.
Last thing, after the breakthrough last week, how different was this week? I guess a lot calmer, a lot more relaxed, and as a result, you probably made more progress than you would have otherwise.
Yeah, this week was pretty chill. I just rode one day and then flew here Wednesday night so I could spend time with my family and my niece and nephew. So, yeah, it's a pretty relaxed week, and I think that's important for me just to hang out and chill. And I did some fishing, so I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
First of all, the obvious question: how is your leg, ankle, shin area? Because it didn't look pretty after last week.
No, the ankle is definitely sore right now. It's pretty bruised, and luckily not too swollen. Got it in the boot, got it taped up. So game time decision right now if I'm racing or not for sure. But yeah, stayed off the bike this week. Just tried to rest it, ice it as much as possible, and yeah, we'll see. Nothing to risk. You know, I got a long road ahead of me, so I'm not trying to risk anything and do something stupid. So
yeah, so the press day riding is really going to be big for you to figure out what direction you go from here on out.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's trying to go out there and just do the bare minimum, just see what kind of pain or pressure, what I'm dealing with, just so I'm kind of mentally prepared going into tomorrow that I'm not going to have to tough it out tomorrow for sure, but just kind of see what I'm dealing with.
I guess you tagged your ACL in Supercross, now you've got this ankle. Come the off-season, are you going to need like 10 surgeries, or are you okay?
No, I'm good. Just a little bit of couch time and probably some good food, No, I'm ACL, that's whatever, but now it's my other leg, it's my ankle. So now it's got a few weeks off after this weekend, so should be able to just rest it, and should be good for Unadilla. So
last one, I feel like the answer is going to be quite obvious, but more and more it's looking like you could be the guy for Team USA. If it comes that way, you're going to jump at it, right?
100%. Yeah, it's you're never going to catch me turning that down. So
there's no real easy way to sum up your season so far, apart from the fact that it's been difficult. So how do you deal with that? We are 7 rounds in.
Yeah, it's been piss poor. There's no easy way to put that, It's yeah, I wish I had just one specific reason, It's at the end of the day, it's my job to figure it out, but I think if you look at the first turn position average for the year so far is around 14th. It's not that it's impossible to do, but it makes our life a lot harder when you're starting outside the top 10, averaging outside the top 10. So lap 1, losing probably 5 to 8 seconds off the leader on lap 1, and then and there's still 12 guys between me and the guy at the front. So just haven't been putting ourselves in a position to succeed, to be honest. And it's been frustrating. It's not even. I wish it was something like, oh man, they're sending it way too hard, I can't do it. But being where I've been, it's not even really an option to send it. There's just too much chaos. Yeah. So it's been tough. I'm happy to be back at the races, but it hasn't been fun. To be honest with you, it feels like I'm beating my head off the wall. But we're trying, and at the end of the day, that's all I can do. I did my homework coming into the season. I felt really good, and I still feel like I'm good, and my lap times, my practice speed is good. It's just, it's not enough to bridge where I've been starting. So yeah.
The common consensus with the Triumph is the strength is its agility. The downfall is maybe it's not as fast as the top 250s. So is it even realistic for you to want to start top 5?
I think that's always the goal, right? I think this weekend is a good weekend for us.
Just because it's harder?
It's a little harder, so maybe not as much drag. Unadilla can be, depending on what the start looks like. I know Ironman will be deep, and I know Budds Creek will be deep. So things like that, I just know ahead of time, and then at that point you're just trying to position yourself around what's going to give us the best chance to succeed. It's just like I said, it's tough. But myself and Jalik, we haven't really been great off the gate. Jalik's had some better starts than me, but overall, like, we haven't been where we need to be. And like I said, it's our qualifying speed has been good. Like, we're top 3-ish around there. But again, like, 1 lap speed and being in the top 3 is good, but you can't start in 14th and, you know, these guys be averaging inside the top 5 and expect to miraculously just bridge that gap when it comes to race time. So
maybe the light at the end of the tunnel for you is SMX. Maybe the bike will be stronger there, more of a level playing field. You're great indoors-ish.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the starts won't be tilled as deep. For the most part, you know, with Supercross, it's pretty hard-packed.
It's also a valuable reset point for you mentally and.
Yeah, like you said, it's a fresh plate, new opportunity, and yeah, I mean, like I said, it's been tough, but like I said, the bike has been awesome. Like, there's no question about that. It's just, yeah, we're experiencing what you call first-year bugs, I guess you could say. So yeah, it's been tough.
Is it fair to say that maybe you underestimated the first-year element of it?
1,000%. In a way, like, I think as a whole, myself as well as the team, we expected it to be tough. But I think we've been thrown a little bit more than maybe we all anticipated. So yeah, like, if we expected it to be on a scale of 1 to 10, you know, a 6, 7 difficulty, it's been around a 9. So there's just been things that have been thrown at us that are out of our hands, and things that, you know, we just didn't know ahead of time. And there's nothing we can do about it until now. Like, now we have data and we know, so moving forward, it's something that can be avoidable. But when you have no data and you start with a fresh plate, it's hard to avoid that.